Nicole's Got It for Mobile Geeks, and today I'm going to be comparing two 7-inch tablets, the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX in the 7-inch variety and the Google Nexus 7 2013, which is also 7 inches. Now there are some big differences between these two tablets, mainly that this one's meant to be used in landscape and this one's meant to be used in portrait, right? But they're both 229. They both have a 1920 by 1200 display, and they're both sporting Snapdragon processors made by Qualcomm. This one is running the flagship Snapdragon 800. This is running a Snapdragon S4 Pro, but this is the flagship processor from Qualcomm, so this is offering some of the best specification numbers that we have on the market currently today. Both come with 2 gigabytes of RAM. So now if we look at the new Nexus 7, it is 7.9 inches high, 4.5 inches wide, 10.24 ounces. Now if we look at the Amazon Kindle Fire HD, it is 7.3 inches high, so it is definitely shorter. It's a little bit wider at 5 inches, so there's actually half an inch difference between these two. And when it comes to thickness, the Nexus is just a hair thinner, but you'll really not notice it because of the angle. But this one measures 0.34 inches, sorry, not 3.4, 0.34 inches, and this one measures 0.35 inches. So really it is very negligible, the difference between height. So like I mentioned, both of these 7-inch displays have a 1920 by 1200 pixel resolution, but the Nexus is just a tad brighter. Now if I put this on the same photo, even though this is a tad brighter, I do have an anti-glossy foil on this. So you can see that it's not quite as reflective. This may affect the brightness just a little bit, but I think that the color saturation and the crispness of the Amazon tablet is just a little bit more robust. Now if we put it onto this photo, you can kind of see they're side by side. Like they're very close, very close. Let's see what else I've got. It's similar. The blacks just seem a little bit blacker on this one. All right, now let's check out the audio. So both of these have stereo speakers, but you'll see here on the Fire that the stereo speakers are here at the top in this shiny plastic, which I dislike. Over here on the Nexus, though they still do have stereo speakers, they're over here down on the end to end. So you can see them right there. So actually, if you're holding the tablet like this, it's covered up just a little bit. So let's... All right. It actually has like bass. All right, let's just hear this one more time. It sounds tinny. Now let's get into the interface. So Amazon's tablet is a media consumption tablet. You can see here at the top, they have different categories for consuming different types of media, right? Let's never forget that Amazon's #1 job is to get you to buy stuff, right? So they have a carousel up here, and if you just pull up, then these are the rest of the apps. Now if we go into an app, like say, FIFA, let's see.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
You can see if I pull from the side, these are the recently launched apps down here. And then I can go back or I can go home. That's kind of the extent of it. If I pull down, this is kind of a very typical Android notification bar. Very simple structure up here. There's even a Mayday button, which I think tells you a lot about the fact that this tablet is geared towards new tablet users. Right, so very simple, consuming media. That's the #1 job of this tablet. If you have any trouble consuming media, we can even have this lady help you. But if we pull it down again, go back into the settings, very simple. And a heavy focus on parental controls as well. There's even a whole app to help you manage your children accessing different types of content. So now This is like the Cadillac of Android operating systems. This is a vanilla version of Android Jelly Bean, right? This isn't a forked version of Android. This is an Android with a Amazon skin, with a highly controlled Amazon UX, right? This is Android how it's meant to be. Personally, this takes the cake. This is why I can't use this tablet. So many restrictions, so many problems, but the thing is, right, the funny thing is, I bought my dad a Kindle Fire and a Google Nexus 7 tablet, and I find that he does a lot more reading on the Kindle Fire just because it's set up in a much more user-friendly way for strictly consuming media. So it's like his morning tablet media consumption device, but like this doesn't have really cool stuff like, show me photos of the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX 7-inch.
Pictures of the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX 7.
Wonderful. So, I mean, it has Google Now, it has, you know, all the different types of notification bars over here. It's just a way more robust tablet when it comes to the ecosystem. The other thing you have to consider is that this has Google's Play, which is Google's own store for purchasing all types of things. So you can do apps. You can also do, let's just cycle this through, right? A lot of the same stuff that they have here. Books, magazines, movies. This does come with 1 free month of Prime. So if I'm buying stuff, I get that really fast, cheap, free, easy shipping. And I also get to watch a whole bunch of series. So this actually has a lot more music that you can consume for free. Maybe not music, but the TV shows and that kind of stuff. Amazon has like one of the best setups for that. I'm not sure how good it is here in Taiwan, but yeah, we can, if you're in the US, you definitely have like some really great access to TV shows. It's kind of like competition for Netflix, but if you're an American, then I don't really need to explain all of this to you. So let's talk a little bit more about performance. So the Nexus 7 comes with a Snapdragon S4 Pro processor, 2 gigabytes of RAM. It's got an Adreno 320 GPU, but this has a quad-core Snapdragon 800 with 2 gigabytes of RAM and the exact same GPU. It actually blows the Nexus 7 out of the water when it comes to performance. On Quadrant, we're looking at, this is scoring like in the 17,000, and this is in like the 5,000 range. So it's actually like triple the benchmark speeds. But performance and snappiness, I mean, like, they have given you like such a restriction on what your UI is that, I mean, like, of course this is going to be quick and snappy because you can't really do too much with it. But when it comes to gameplay, both of these are totally fine if you want to do advanced big gaming. All right, now that you should be noticing that there is something missing on the backs of these tablets. Well, this tablet, not this tablet. This has a 5 megapixel rear-facing shooter, and this does not have a rear-facing camera at all. On the front, both of them do have webcams. The Nexus 7 has a 1.2 megapixel shooter, and it can actually take a 1080p video with this, just if you were curious. This too allows for, actually this one allows for 720p front-facing video calls on Skype. So if you're not looking, actually I hate using the tablet cameras in the back. I think they're stupid, right? So it's totally fine for me that they haven't included one. I mean, in a pinch, it's kind of nice. I know a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, but it doesn't have it. What if I need it? Blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I just know that I don't need it, right? Maybe you need it, right? But you definitely need the front-facing camera if you want to do any kind of video chat, which I think is an important thing for a tablet. Now, what about battery life? These guys are basically the same. They're rated at about 8.5 hours each. So you're totally fine when it comes to either or. If battery life is a problem, 6 in one, half dozen the other. So that was just a quick comparison between the Google Nexus 7 tablet and the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX. I mean, it should be pretty simple for you to figure out which one you want to get just based on how you want to use it. Are you a hold and read it like this kind of person, or are you a hold and read it like this kind of person? What is your usage scenario? Are you one hand on the go, or are you sitting and reading at home a lot? I mean, this is light enough that, you know, you can use it, actually you can use it with one hand, no problem. But if you're on the subway or on the go, the outward kind of pokey nature of holding a tablet like this isn't quite as friendly. So it just comes down to how are you going to use it, where do you think you're going to use it. The decision should be pretty obvious for you if you just ask yourself that question. So I'm Nicole Scott for Mobile Geeks, doing a little bit of a comparison between two $229 7-inch tablets.
What?